Hey, morning everybody, or afternoon, depending on where you are. Sorry, there's a background noise. I'm kind of doing laundry here. Now, I just wanted to touch on this topic that I've been seeing everyone talk about, and obviously, I could have tweeted about it, but text is very hard for context. Context. Um, it's about location-based pay, and I think I see a lot of people having very interesting opinions about it, but I feel like for the most part, when I look at the talk about a location-based pay as related to tech jobs, it's very emotional. We're all, somebody in San Francisco is earning 250K. If you're paying the same developer doing the same work in Nigeria, they should earn the same 250,000 US dollars. It just like it's crazy today that it's so easy to make emotional arguments without any sense of logic, and you would have a number of people banking on it. That is the whole concept of capitalism, the whole concept of globalization is based on the fact that you can get production or productivity for cheaper somewhere else. The reason why the iPhone is produced in China is because if you were to produce the iPhone in America, in the USA, you would have to pay the people in USA a little bit more, and the iPhone will cost more. The whole idea why you have an iPhone that you can afford is because you can afford to pay people in China cheaper. You're not undercutting the people in China. You are only undercutting the people in China if you're paying them below the standard Chinese rate. Think about it. Most people in China actually don't earn that amount of money that Apple is probably paying them per hour. Again, I'm assuming that, or actually, we can sort of like affirm that to a greatest degree. But you then paying them a standard rate or a little bit even higher than the market rate is not exploitation just because pound for pound you'd pay somebody else in a different place. It's the same reason you can, like in Nigeria, for example, you can go buy tomato from X place, the same tomato, oversimplified comparison, for 20 naira in the village, and then bring it into the city and sell it at a higher price, wholesale, retail. It's kind of the same thing. Not necessarily the same because that's a product. This is a service. When I was reading this book by Phil Knight, Shoe Dog, he actually talks about it where he said if Nike actually decided they wanted to pay a similar rate in America as they do in their factories in like Vietnam, what name of this place? I can't remember the name of the country, not Hong Kong, Singapore, and all of these places, Taiwan. The government literally comes in and says no, because you're going to create runaway inflation. If you know the famous story of Mansa Musa, Kaka Musa, about how the believed to be the richest man that ever lived, about how he was going on pilgrimage and Hajj, if you read history, and he had so much money that he gave away so much money in places like Egypt, he caused runaway inflation because he had introduced so much gold to the local economy that it just was worthless. Like, people just talk from an emotional perspective. They don't think about the economic implications. If I have a company, and I do have a company, and I'm hiring somebody, like I'm paying somebody, say $200,000 in America, I'm not going to come to Nigeria where the standard of living is different and pay them $200,000 a year. I am not going to do that. I could do that if I feel like that person, for whatever reason, represents that much of an asset. It doesn't mean also if I decide to offer you less, it means that you're not an asset to my company. It just means that I'm taking into account a business decision. I'm taking into account location. That in this particular place, let's say in Nigeria, for example, the average developer, I would say probably senior dev is probably earning somewhere within maybe 500,000 naira. Let's even put it at a million. And a million is like $2,000, right? Around $2,000. That's what the average developer, like I would say, badass developer, Microsoft level, or super high startup level. Let's just say if you're earning a million naira in Nigeria a month, you are chilling. Now, if I decide to offer you double that, which is 2 million naira, that's still just $4,000 to do the same job. In America, I'll probably be offering somebody maybe per year, I would say for a senior dev, we're talking at least minimum 80K, right? Which is around around $6,500 per month. By your logic, or by the logic of some of the things I see on Twitter, I should just offer the same person in Nigeria. The same person in Nigeria, in that Nigerian location, is probably going to struggle to find that $2 million naira per month job to begin with. So I'm not undercutting them. I'm actually paying them above the market rate. And it's interesting that the people that make this argument tend to be people that are not in the tech field. They don't understand. They've never run a company before. It's just an emotional argument. It sounds nice. And the road to hellfire is paved with good intentions. People come from an emotional angle, from a compassionate angle. I get the statement, but the world works very differently. I work in the UK here, and I live in London. The amount of money I can demand is very different if I was in Manchester, because first of all, the cost of living in Manchester is different, and you don't see people complaining. That's just standard. Even if you work for, let's say, the NHS, a government organization, or police, or anything like that, you do not earn the same pound for pound salary. Someone in London has to earn a little bit more because the realities of London are different. So would you then say we're underpaying the person in Manchester? No. It's just you're recognizing that in London, the realities are different. That's the same reason why a San Francisco person would earn more. It's not saying that I'm paying you less. I just happen to be paying the San Francisco person more because their realities are different. So the conversation shouldn't be about paying less. It should be about that you're paying somebody else more. Because if we wanted to do equal salary, we can just say, okay, you know what? Let's pay everybody the Nigerian rate, the standard Nigerian rate. Let's pay everybody 2 million naira per month, which is very good for the person in Nigeria. How do you think the person in San Francisco is going to survive on that salary? They would not. So you can see that once I shift the argument towards the lower bounds, that was perceived lower bound, it doesn't hold. So please, I'm tired of hearing people talk about this whole location-based pay thing. It just does not make sense. Read, study economics. It's simple, and it's always people that have never run businesses. They come on Twitter, they just yap. Exactly. Study, understand, educate yourself. Simple things. It's not necessarily about undercutting. Of course, if I'm going to Nigeria and I'm offering a stupid rate, like I want to offer somebody 200,000 naira per month when like the job is much more than that, that's a different case. That's a whole different ethical argument. And I still say that a job between two people all comes down to what you're willing to offer and what you're willing to pay. If I go to Nigeria and I offer somebody 20 naira per month, and for whatever reason that person decides that 20 naira per month is what they want to accept, makes me probably, yes, am I a little bit of an arsehole? Probably much more than a little bit of an arsehole. But it is better. Trade. That's it. I am offering you a service. I'm not putting a gun to your head. I still don't think that's the right thing to do, but that's how we should think about it. Right? There's nothing wrong with you specifically going to look for people in a specific area because it's cheaper. It's the only reason Andela works. Do you think if Andela, like by your definition, Andela works today because they can afford to give the same service for cheaper? That's the whole business model of Andela. By your definition, Andela should be getting the same amount of pay. Those jobs would then not exist in Africa to begin with. I can't believe we're having this argument or this conversation. It's such a stupid one, in my personal opinion. It's a waste of time, right? So that's all I have to say about this. Jesus.